Let's see how to use these red, green, blue values, or hue, saturation, brightness, to create colors that actually control what we draw in processing. Well, there's really nothing to it. You just list the RGB or HSB values in the right place. Let's take a look. Suppose we want to make a sketch that creates a graphics window with a gray background. The way we tell processing to pick a specific color for the background is we call a routine called background. And I'll show you exactly what goes into this in a moment. But let's keep going and finish what the picture of our sketch will be. The sketch will have just one object in it, a rectangle. Let's say it's filled with yellow. In order to fill it with yellow, we call a routine called fill, and we give it a color. Again, just RGB or HSB, and that tells it what color to put into the rectangle when we draw it. Finally, let's suppose that we want to put a stroke around the rectangle, and let's say it's a red stroke. Fine, so we call the routine called stroke, and we give it a red color, and now we draw the rectangle. So now let's replace each of these words with the actual line of processing we would type. In place of the word background, we would actually have the word background. But it's followed by a pair of parentheses and a semicolon. And between the parentheses, we just list the red, green, and blue values separated by commas. I like to put a space after my commas. You don't have to. It doesn't matter whether you do or don't. My style is to put one in there. If you type this line in exactly this way, the word background all in lowercase, open paren, red, green, blue, separated by commas, close paren, semicolon, you have done a perfect job of telling processing when it creates the graphics window, give it this RGB background color. In this case, all three values are the same, so we get a gray color. Well, let's replace the fill. I'll take out the word fill and replace it with the word fill. But it's now followed by open paren, red, comma, green, comma, blue, close paren, semicolon. And the red and green values are pretty high, the blue value is 0, and that gives us a pretty bright yellow color. Finally, you know what's going to happen with stroke. I'm going to take away the word stroke and replace it with the word stroke, followed by an open paren, red, comma, green, comma, blue, close paren, semicolon. If I type those three lines into processing as part of a program, and there have to be a couple of lines before it and after it, but these are the essential drawing commands that control colors, and then we tell it to draw a rectangle, it will draw this rectangle. So okay, let's take a look at another example. So this will be my background color, and from my color picker, I found that these are the numbers that generated that kind of light orange color. Type them in. When processing makes the window, it puts that color into the background. Now I'm going to pick some crazy colors for the rectangle. The fill color, the cyan, from my color picker, has these values. And the stroke color, that dark purple from my color picker, has these values. So these are the actual lines of processing that we type to tell it, when you create the window, use this RGB for the background color of the sketch. Then we say, anytime I draw graphics from now on, here is the color to fill it in with, and here's the color with which to draw the stroke. And all the objects we draw from then on will have that fill and that stroke color until we change them. And that's all there is to using color. If you want to use these colors in HSB, remember you have to go into HSB first using color mode. You have to multiply your values by the numbers that we saw in our recipe. And then I advise getting out of HSB mode by calling color mode again to go back into RGB.